Okay, it's 4 o'clock in the freaking morning. It's 4:46, but I said I'm gonna do this before I go to sleep for Sasha. Um, you were talking about, for Sasha be the boss, sexy ass, the one in Worthington next to Columbus. She was talking about Domino's and how, I guess the people would defile the food, put the cheese in their nose and things of that nature. But according to Christ, there's nothing that can come into a man that can defile him. Nothing at all. How about we read this to get an understanding of it? The book of Mark, chapter 7. Let's start at verse. We'll start at verse 14. And when he had called all the people unto him, he said unto them, Hearken unto me, every one of you, and understand. This is Christ saying this. There is nothing without a man that entering into him can defile him. But the things which cometh out of him, these are they that would defile a man. If any man have ears, let him hear. And when he was entering into the house from the people, his disciples asked him concerning the parable. And he said unto them, Are ye so without understanding also? Do ye not perceive that whatsoever thing from without entereth into a man, it cannot defile him? Because it entereth not into his heart, but into the belly, and goeth out to the drought, and purges all meat. Because if you understand what I just read what Christ said is there's nothing that you can put in your mouth that you can eat can defile you. And what proves that he's talking about a whole bunch of food is the 19th verse where it says, because it entereth not into the heart, but into the belly. Okay, so it's not, and it goeth out in the drought, purifying all foods is what it says in translation right here. It's talking about all foods, and we know that to be false. It says something of the same nature in Matthew chapter 15, verse 18 through 20. It says something of the same exact nature in Matthew, but I'm going to read that. I'm going to show you how what Christ said is false. Another thing Christ said that was false about eating. Since Sasha wants to talk about eating, we're going to talk about eating, and eating with unwashed hands. Because in both these instances, the whole discussion started when the Pharisees saw that the men that were with Christ did not wash their hands. And that's something also. The Pharisees are a misrepresentation of the Almighty's people, and that's going to be another video in the future. Best believe that. But Christ is false. He just said that nothing that can go in your mouth can defile you. Let's see how that's false. We can go to the book of. We can start the book of Daniel, chapter 1. You'll see how much knowledge Daniel has. Daniel chapter 1, and the faster I get there, the faster I can get this video done. Okay, Daniel chapter 1, I'm going to start at verse 8, and it says, But Daniel purposed in his heart that he would not defile himself with the portion of the king's meat, nor with the wine which he drank. Therefore he requested of the prince of the eunuchs that he might not defile himself. So he knows that he's not going to eat the meat because it would defile him, or the wine of the king because it would defile him. And how would it defile him if it goes in his mouth? When Christ said it, nothing going to come in your mouth can defile you. But see, obviously Christ is saying something to you that's false, but I want to further show you how what Christ is saying is false by going to Leviticus chapter 11. Because Christ said there's nothing that can come in your mouth can defile you. And that's a lie, but we're going to go to Leviticus chapter 11 to prove that's a lie. We're going to 11 and 44. It says, For I am Yah your Elohim, and ye shall therefore sanctify yourselves, and ye shall be holy, for I am holy. Neither shall ye defile yourself with any manner of creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. So you can defile yourself. This is the dietary law. And to prove this is the dietary law, in Leviticus chapter 11, I'm going to read some more things that can defile you. Leviticus 11 and 7 says, And the pig, though he divideth the hoof and cloven-footed, he cheweth not the cud. He is unclean to you. That can defile you. So something you put in your mouth can defile you. Also, I'm going to read verse 9 through 12, where it explains you're not supposed to eat shrimp, oyster, lobsters, or things of that nature in the sea. It says that in Leviticus 11 and 9, where it says, I'll read it from 9 to 12 real quick. And these shall ye eat of all that are in the waters. Whatsoever have fins and scales in the waters, in the sea, and in the rivers, them shall ye eat. So whatever has fins and scales, you can eat. Verse 10, and all that have not fins and scales in the seas and in the river, and all that moveth in the water, and any living thing which is in the water, they shall be an abomination unto you. They shall even be an abomination to you. You shall not eat their flesh. You shall have their carcass an abomination. Whatsoever have no fins and scales in the water, that shall be an abomination to you. So you should only be eating really pretty much fish, because it has fins and scales. That's pretty much the only thing that the Almighty said you can eat out of the rivers or in the water. You have a lot of that. So not a oyster, a lobster, a jellyfish. But let's keep it moving. When it talks about when Christ said that nothing can go in your mouth can defile you, which is a lie. But to further prove my point, I'm going to go to the book of Judges, chapter 13. This is for the women, Judges 13. And it says in Judges 13 and 3, it says, and the angel of Yahweh appeared to the woman, and said unto her, Behold, thou art barren, and thou bearest not, but thou shalt conceive and bear a son. Therefore beware, I pray thee, and drink not wine nor strong drink, and eat not any unclean thing. For lo, thou shalt conceive and bear a son, and no razor shall come upon his head. The child shall be a Nazarite unto God from the womb. He shall begin to deliver Israel out of the hand of Philistines. So right here, this angel of the Most High is talking to Samson's mother, and I'm so sorry for not remembering, but it's Samson's mother right here. She told Samson's mother in the book of Judges chapter 13 verse 4 to eat not anything unclean. So basically, don't defile yourself. But for more clarification, we can go back to the book of Leviticus 20 real quick. Leviticus 20 and 18. Leviticus 20 and 18. And it says, in fact, go to Leviticus 20 and 25, because Leviticus 20 and 18 is talking about something totally different. It says right here, Leviticus 20 and 25, ye shall therefore put difference between clean beast and unclean, and between unclean fowls and clean. And ye shall not make your souls abominable by beast, or by fowl, or by any manner of living thing that creepeth on the ground, which I have separated to you as unclean. Right here is telling you that you should put a difference between two different beasts, and don't eat everything, because it'll make your soul abominable. And you can make your soul abominable by eating these certain things. Okay, so as we can see right here, what Christ is saying is false. But let's go back to what Christ said, just so we can see how false it is after all this information has been said. I'm going to go to the other one, Matthew 15. Oh yeah, and by the way, eating with unwashed hands, even if you say that Christ is talking about eating with unwashed hands, that is one of the leading causes of food poisoning and lawsuits. When it deal with restaurants, and when a cook does not wash his hands, people get deathly sick. So they put that in their mouth, and it would defile them and make them very sick. That would defile them even when they eat with unwashed hands some of the time. So even saying that would be preposterous. But let's read this real quick. This is what Christ said, and we already see that this is false from Matthew 15 and 18. And it says, okay, do you not understand? I would say Matthew 15 and 17. Do you not understand that whatsoever enter into the mouth goeth into the belly, and is cast out in the draught? But those things which proceed out of the mouth come forth from the heart, they that defile a man. So it's telling you right here that what goes in the belly will just come out in the draught, and nothing will happen. But only things that come out of your mouth will defile you. And they say you don't have to wash your hands, basically. Even though if you type in cook not washing his hands, you'll see a lot of stuff popping up, and you'll see that washing your hands may save your life. But like I said, there's things that you can put in your mouth that will defile you, and what Christ said right there was false as well. Thank you.